So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Again, if you didn't hear me in the beginning, my name is Matt Detrick, and as you fill out the welcome poll, I'm just going to go ahead and go through some housekeeping items here so that we can have a successful webinar today. But again, my name is Matt Detrick. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at the Penn State School of International Affairs. It's an honor and a privilege to have you all with us today so that we can talk a little bit about our master's degree program and specifically how you can apply as an international student. Now, if you're not an international student, but you're tuning in today, that is not a problem at all. A lot of the information really is similar. There's just some nuances and some extra steps international students have to take in order to successfully make it through the application process so that they can attend our program by fall 2024. So without further ado, before I even get started, I just want to say that you can ask questions throughout this webinar at any time. Feel free to, if a question comes to your head, feel free to put that in the question and answer box as opposed to the chat box. The question and answer box is really helpful for us so that we can keep track of your questions. Sometimes the webinar chat can move pretty quickly and it's hard to keep up. And I'm a one-man show today. So if you could help me out and please use the question and answer box to ask your questions, that would be great. I'll stop here and there to answer any questions that you may have, especially if they start to pile up. So again, please ask questions at any point. If you want to use the chat to talk or introduce yourself, talk amongst yourself, that's completely okay. But again, questions are easier answered from the question and answer function. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I love to see this welcome poll. I really enjoy seeing where you all are coming from. When you plan to start graduate school, it looks like quite a few of you are working professionals right now. And so that's all really great. And I'll have to look at some of those questions, the answers to those questions a little later. So, all right, let's get into things. So first, I want to talk a little bit about Penn State and the School of International Affairs, both separately, but also together at the same time. So some quick SIA Fast Facts. The School of International Affairs, and I will call it SIA just because it's a lot easier from here on out, it is a professional master's degree in international affairs. I may lose some of you here at this point. I know I got a lot of questions in the pre-screening about the types of programs we offer. We only offer a Master of International Affairs degree. We do not offer any other programs here at SIA. If you're interested in degrees in education or STEM or anything like that, we don't offer that, and I can't speak to those, unfortunately. You'll have to reach out to those departments at Penn State directly to get more information on their particular programs. I will say, though, and we'll talk a little bit about this later, that we do have really great curriculum flexibility and the ability to choose one of 12 concentrations or completely create your own. I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse, if you will, right now. However, this means that you'll be able to take classes in any graduate program across the university. However, you will graduate from our program with a Master of International Affairs degree with a concentration in whatever you choose. So I did want to make that super clear in the beginning here, so that you understand what you're involved in here today. We are a professional master's degree. It is a little different than an academic degree, whereas we are preparing students to get a job after they graduate. And that can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. Can we help students get into PhD programs and then later go on into academia? Absolutely. And this has happened. We've successfully helped students move on into academia. But I would say the large majority of our students are career focused and they become career ready through our program. We are a member of the Association for Professional Schools of International Affairs. This is, APSIA is the preeminent institution or consortium of schools of international affairs across the world, with over 35 schools in the consortium. So we're really privileged and honored to be a part of APSIA, and it really speaks to the rigor and the quality of our program and our faculty and our students that are coming through our program. The School of International Affairs MIA degree does offer an interdisciplinary, flexible, and customizable curriculum or degree, if you will. It's highly interdisciplinary, meaning you'll touch on a lot of facets of international affairs, from climate change to national security to terrorism to economics to international trade and so many other things that are wrapped up in this term we like to call globalization. But even furthermore, it is flexible and customizable. So you can take classes across the university in any graduate department or program, including the Smale College of Business or the College of the Liberal Arts and History or anthropology or programs like that, to really customize a concentration to your liking. We also offer education abroad. Now, I know many international students, if they decide to come to our program, this is education abroad for you. Sometimes, though, international students are interested in studying abroad while they're abroad, and they choose to spend a semester in another country through our program to earn graduate credit. This is absolutely an option for every single one of our students. But even more than this, we have the ability for students to go on embedded programs. This is an education abroad experience through a course you're taking here on campus, or faculty-led programs, for example, maybe over spring break, Thanksgiving break, maybe a month or a week out of the summer. It really varies, but there are a lot of different opportunities to see the world, even while engaging in our program here at the School of International Affairs. We also have elite experienced faculty, so former U.S. ambassadors, folks who have worked in the White House or in the United States federal government. But one thing I really like about our faculty is not only do they bring a level of practice to the classroom, but they also bring a great and a high level of scholarship to the classroom. So we have scholars from various fields: human rights, media and journalism, climate, economics, so many others, and they really bring a great level of scholarship to the practice so that students can understand the theory as well as the reality behind a lot of the things that happen at a high level once they leave our program and go on into their place of employment. And then finally, we have an over 90% career attainment rate within 1 year of graduation. This has been true since the year 2013. Our students are finding jobs after they graduate, and they're working in a variety of sectors, in a variety of roles, and they're finding success once they leave our program. So let's talk about our curriculum flexibility and this customizable concentration, as well as the create your own. So every student within our program can choose one of 12 concentrations or create your own. Again, students can take classes in any college or department across the university to form a concentration that meets their academic and career goals. We do have 12 prescribed concentrations with courses that students have to take in order to meet those concentrations, but the course lists for those concentrations are so big that you really can choose which classes you want to take specifically that meet that concentration. Or again, you can completely create your own, and you can find classes across the university to create your own. I will say that over 60% of our students choose to create their own concentration because there are so many niche interests and ideas within our program, within our cohorts, that students would like to find more niche skills in those concentrations that are offered. Again, you can take electives in many top Penn State graduate programs. This includes, like I said, the Smale College of Business or the College of the Liberal Arts. Sometimes students will take classes in the College of Engineering, for example, as well as Health and Human Development and more. You can also complete electives abroad, and I did talk a little bit about this earlier. Also, as a student here at the School of International Affairs, students can add on a graduate certificate to increase the amount of credentials that they have before they graduate. All of this is included within the tuition that you pay to be in the Master of International Affairs program for the most part, and the tuition doesn't necessarily increase as you add on certificates. There's a caveat in adding on classes, but in any case, as you add on certificates, there's no real additional cost there. And you can take certificates online and residential. I should throw this in that most international students in taking online classes, this is a challenge because you can only take so many online credits per semester, but there are residential certificates here at University Park that you can engage in other departments across campus to get an extra credential before you leave our program. You can also start or perfect a foreign language. Now, I know many of you probably have English as either a first or a second language, and then another language, and many, many more after that. But if you decide you want to learn another language while you're here at Penn State, maybe it be Arabic or Mandarin, or maybe you want to learn French, for example, you can absolutely do that while you're in our program, and you can continue learning languages. Maybe you're really great at writing a language, but not really great at speaking a language, for example, or vice versa. Maybe you're great at speaking it and not writing it, and you want to perfect those skills. That's absolutely okay, and you can do that while you're in our program. And every student is required to complete a capstone for their master's degree. This is either done by master's paper or an internship. The vast majority of students are completing the internship due to the professional nature of our program. Students doing a master's paper may be more interested in going on to get a PhD or maybe work in a think tank. It really just depends. And this is a conversation you'll have really early with our academic advising and career advising staff to understand what is the capstone that you need to go on and succeed in our program, and depending on your career goals and aspirations as well. So let's talk a little bit about why Penn State. Why should you come to Penn State, or why should you consider coming to Penn State? Well, first, it's a top 100 global university, according to U.S. News and World Report and topuniversities.com. Penn State does enjoy the largest alumni association globally. There are over 174,000 plus dues-paying members of the Penn State Alumni Association, as well as over 720,000 alumni worldwide. One thing that's really cool about this is that you can be anywhere in the world, and I have personal anecdotes and stories about this, such as being in Istanbul and meeting a Penn Stater, and I kind of gave you the punchline, but you can be anywhere in the world and meet a Penn Stater. I'm learning that there are Penn State Alumni Association chapters in cities across Europe, some in India, but also all over the United States. And as an SIA student, you have the ability to engage in that while you're a student. We do have an alumni mentorship program, but we also take our students to DC and New York to meet with employers, but also meet with our alumni. Penn State alumni are vibrant, thriving. A lot of them are really excited about meeting current Penn Staters and networking and those types of things. So being a part of the Penn State community has a lot of benefits in this regard. SIA, especially, or Penn State too, because we're on the Penn State campus, of course, is a global community, and we're centrally located. You can see on this map here that Penn State is centrally located between 3 major U.S. cities and an international city. One city you don't see on here that is famous is Pittsburgh. We're also located close to Baltimore, as well as Buffalo, but these seem to be the most popular cities. What's really nice is that you have Toronto too, just across the border on the other side of Lake Erie, that you can engage in as well and travel to. But we do take our students to DC and New York every fall and spring to meet with employers, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this. We also have a global community. Students are from all over the world. Penn State is constantly ranked in the top 25. Actually, I think even in the top 10 of schools in North America that attract international students. We're a very international student friendly campus. You can see here that we have 70 plus international and multicultural student organizations, and some of the statistics that just popped up in that picture here, you can see that Penn State is a very international friendly school. Here at SIA, we have a tight-knit, diverse, and global community. I'll talk a little bit about this on the next slide, but we have students from all over the world. About 25% of our school is international students. We have faculty that are international as well. And so we really value international students within our program and are excited to continue welcoming them in the future. So why the School of International Affairs specifically? Well, one, you get full access to an excellent university. Penn State is a tier 1 research institution. It's one of the largest in North America with a really great research library and a lot of opportunities at a big university. Here at SIA, you get support from every angle. This includes a 3-tiered advising approach. So every student gets an academic advisor, every student gets a career advisor, and every student gets a faculty advisor. They all serve different roles, but you get three opportunities to engage with people within our program to make sure you have right mentorship, make sure you're getting the right skills, taking the right classes, applying to internships, applying to jobs, et cetera, et cetera. We also have peer and alumni mentorship. Every first-year student will be matched up with a second-year student to help ingrain them in the culture here at SIA. A lot of you are coming from many countries around the world, so the United States is a new country. This is a new state. This is a new city. This is a new campus. And so having a second-year student who has been there and done that can really help you to bridge the gap between where you're from and here, and help you feel comfortable about engaging in our community. We also have great alumni mentorship. So we have alumni within the School of International Affairs that have signed up to mentor current students. And this is a great way to build your network and understand how you can use your time at SIA wisely to best be prepared for a job once you leave here. We also offer education abroad, of course, which I spoke about. We have a lot of networking opportunities through the Penn State Alumni Association and SIA career trips to DC and New York. We have a tight-knit, diverse, and global community. Again, students from all over the world. I've met students from nearly every continent that is inhabitable, not in Antarctica, of course. But I've met students from all over the world, and it's been an absolute pleasure in my particular role to welcome some of these students here to SIA, students from the Middle East or Africa, students from Europe and Asia as well, South America, Central America. It's been an absolute joy. And of course, an over 90% career attainment rate each year since 2013. Our students are working in the public sector, private sector. They're working for the federal government. International students oftentimes will get our degree, and then they will travel back home and work for a firm or their government back in their home country, which seems to be a goal for many international students. And so we find a lot of success there. Okay, so let's move on to our application requirements and how to apply to our program. And again, if you have any questions as I'm going through here, please throw them in the question and answer box. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions either now or at the end of our session here today. So some important deadlines that you need to be concerned with in order to successfully complete the application for our program. So first, in order to be considered for merit-based scholarships, you must apply by January 31st of 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Students who do not apply by this deadline may not be considered for merit-based scholarships to our program. And I'll talk a little bit more about scholarships here in a little bit, as far as the funding levels and other caveats that are extremely important regarding scholarships. But I just want to make note that you must apply by this date with an entirely completed application. This includes that your references are in, all of the documents that are required of you are submitted on your application, you've answered all of the questions, and you hit the submit button by this time. And so that's extremely important. Therefore, I encourage you, if you are looking to be to receive some level of scholarship to our program, apply now. Apply as early as possible so that we can review your application, make sure all of your items are in, and so that you can be in best consideration for merit-based scholarships. We do have a final deadline of March 21st, 2024. Typically at this point, students are not getting merit-based scholarships, although sometimes there is some space and seats available where we might be able to offer merit-based scholarships. Typically, though, students who apply after January 31st, but by this time, don't find merit-based scholarships from our program. So that's why I really want you to apply if you're very serious about applying to our program, to apply by January 31st. After March 21st, we're on a rolling admission based on seat availability. And again, I can't guarantee that scholarships will be available at that point. So please make sure that you are applying by that particular date. All right, so how to apply. And I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because we do have this information up on our website. So I really encourage you to do your due diligence, do your research, go to our website, look through all of our application requirements, how to apply, so that you can be best suited to apply to our program as soon as you can. So first, again, visit our website, and that link is here. Here are our application requirements. So every student must submit a current resume or CV. We really encourage you to tailor your resume or CV to our program. Sometimes this means putting your education way at the top so that we know that you have a degree. Sometimes this means putting professional experience or volunteer experience at the top of your resume as well, so that we can see that. If you don't have professional experience, but you have a lot of volunteer or leadership experience, that's okay. You can put that towards the top. So make sure you're really tailoring this to our degree and doing your research on our website so that when we're reading your resume, we see that you're a serious candidate for our program. Additionally, if you have publications or any articles that you've written, you can put those on your resume as well. The typical resume is one page, but at this stage of the game, you can go off of one page and make your resume shine. Please make sure that you submit official transcripts when you apply. Grade reports, progress reports, or unofficial transcripts will not be acceptable upon application. Now, if you can download or obtain official transcripts from your university, the second that they become in your possession, they become unofficial. But those are the ones that we need in order to apply to our program. Now, if you're admitted, you will go through the admissions check process again. There's a few steps, and you'll need to submit official transcripts, but these official transcripts will come from university to university. They won't go through you. So make sure that you're uploading a version or a copy of the official transcripts to the application so that there's no delays in processing your application. In a lot of cases, international students will need the English translation. So if you upload the transcripts in your native language, a lot of times we'll have to come back and ask for the English translation. I would say a good rule of thumb is to upload both the native translation and the English translation, just to save time of us coming back and forth on asking you to submit documents to us. You also need a statement of purpose. There are two prompts on our website that we ask that you pick one and you follow it very closely. The statement of purpose is your time to really sell yourself to the program. It's your time to show us that you are very serious about coming to SIA, that you're very serious about coming to Penn State, and what our degree can do to help you get to the next step in your journey in your life. A lot of times we can tell, here are some tips. A lot of times we can tell if a student is copying and pasting. Maybe they're applying to 5 different schools and they're copying and pasting and just changing the name. We can tell. We also can tell if students plagiarize, so make sure that your work is original. We do run our statements of purpose through plagiarism software, so it's really important that you write your own work and really speak to your qualifications and why you want to come to our program, because we will be running those through plagiarism software as well. The statement of purpose is super important. Make sure you take your time on it. Make sure you write it in a way that is compelling, that you tell us a really great story and why you want to come here. Typically, the statement of purpose is like a cover letter, so about 500 to 750 words. I would say don't write less than 500 words. If you write over 750, that's okay, but try not to write too much. We have a lot of statements of purpose to read, and you want to be concise and precise in what you say as well. Please, finally, upload the statement of purpose as a PDF. This is extremely important because it makes it easier for our committee to read it. You don't want to make that a challenge for them, especially when the statement of purpose is so important. We also need the contact information for 2 recommenders. So make sure that you ask folks to write you a letter of recommendation. You'll put their contact information in the application. Once you hit submit, they will receive the information to upload a letter on your behalf. We really would appreciate you at least having 1 faculty member write a letter of recommendation for you. The other can be a supervisor or another faculty member, but we really want to make sure that at least 1 faculty member can write you a letter so that we know who you are as a student, how you work in the classroom, your ambitions, your goals, and things like that. Here are some tips on recommendation letters. Sit down with the person that's going to write your letter of recommendation as soon as you can. Give them about 1 month to write the letter of recommendation. It is not a great recipe for success if you go to them on January 15th and say, I need a letter of recommendation now. Can you submit it by January 28th? Maybe they're willing to do it, but again, that's not really a professional courtesy to them, and they may not be able to write you the best letter of recommendation if you give them such short notice. So I really recommend that you reach out to them now, reach out to them early, especially as you consider applying, and give them time. You can submit the application before they write the letter. They will receive a link to upload the letter on your behalf and attach it to your application. So if you apply now, maybe they'll have your letters in by October or November, and that will be really good. Again, you can't be considered for merit-based scholarships unless your application is entirely complete by January 31st. This includes letters of recommendation. We also have a set of program-specific questions at the end of the application. Sometimes applicants will skip these questions, and that is not good because we do consider them in the admissions process. So please make sure that you answer these questions at the end of the application that are specifically tailored to our program. All international students are going to be required to provide proof of English proficiency, whether that be IELTS or TOEFL. The minimum IELTS score is a 6.5 overall band score. The minimum TOEFL score is an 80 on the internet-based test with a 19 on the speaking section. There are no exemptions for any international student, although there are certain countries that are automatically exempt. If you have questions about that, please reach out to us, and I can put our email in the chat here so that you have it. If you have any questions about the English proficiency process, please reach out to us so that we can give you the list of countries that are automatically exempt from English proficiency exam scores. If your country is not on that list, unfortunately, there are no exemptions. We have to require IELTS or TOEFL, and we cannot require, or we cannot ask or accept the DuoLingo English test scores. Also, finally, your conferred degree must be comparable to a U.S. 4-year bachelor's degree, and this will be checked through the transcripts as well. So make sure that before you apply that your degree is comparable to a 4-year bachelor's degree within the United States. On our website, on the website that is on this slide here, you'll see that there are country eligibility. There's a country eligibility database. I really encourage you to look through that to find the country in which you earned your degree, and from here you'll be able to determine what you need to upload when you apply to our program: degree certificates, official transcripts, IELTS or TOEFL scores. All of these things will tell you what you need to successfully apply to Penn State. All right, let's talk about tuition. This is one of the most important questions that we often get. So as an international student, this is what your billable expenses may look like. Now, let me be really clear that in the fall, that you see a difference in the tuition between fall and spring. This is because typically students will take 12 credits in our first semester here in the fall. And in the spring, sometimes they'll take 9 or 12 credits. So I wanted to show you the difference between 9 and 12 credits to give you an idea of what you might need as far as funding, whether it be out of pocket or in other means, scholarships, et cetera, to pay for our program. Now, students will start by taking 12 credits in the fall semester. Sometimes they'll take 9 credits in the spring semester. Sometimes they'll take 12 credits in the fall semester or 12 credits in the spring semester. We are a 42 credit program, and I did the math, but students will need to take at least one semester of 12 credits. All the other semesters can be 9. In order to maintain full-time status, you will need to take 9 credits per semester at the very least. The difference is when you take 9 credits, you're a full-time student. You're a full-time student beyond that as well. But once you go from 9 to 12 credits, there is an increase in tuition. From 12 to 18 credits, it's the same tuition. So just note that this difference between 9 and 12 credits is important. These are the non-billable expenses. These include rent, meals, and books, or living expenses, if you will. This is purely just an estimate. This is not what you will need to pay, but this will be important because I want to show you what you'll need as far as a financial guarantee to get your I-20. You can either spend more than this or less than this. State College is extremely affordable. The cost of living around here is really great for students. And so it really depends on where you live and your lifestyle and the types of things that you need on a day-to-day basis. So the billable and non-billable expenses are approximately $55,216. Again, this is based on the 12 to 9 credit semesters, but it's important to note that the International Programs Office is going to require something different from you in order to get the I-20. So some important tuition notes. These are rates for the 2023-2024 year. The rates for 2024-2025 are subject to increase, and that will be noted in July 2024. So if you decide to enroll in our program, you may see a potential increase in this tuition. Typically, it's anywhere from 3 to 6% of an increase each year. The non-billable living expenses are estimates based on local cost of living. This doesn't include a lot of miscellaneous items that you may need as you live as a student within our town. Tuition is based on 12 credits for the fall and 9 credits for the spring. I did want to show you that difference because we do get a lot of questions about that. International, and this is the most important part for international students. International students must meet the financial guarantee regardless of the amount of credits enrolled in order to receive the I-20. For 2023-2024, the financial guarantee was $59,600 at the Penn State University Park campus. Without going into too much detail here, in order to receive the I-20, which is part of your immigration process, you will need to meet the financial guarantee. I don't know what that's going to be for 2024-2025, but if you're admitted in our program and you matriculate, our International Programs Office will send you this information so that you're aware of what you need. And this is the tuition plus the cost of living in State College. And this is important because you won't be able to book your visa appointment without the I-20. Let's talk about scholarships. So merit-based scholarships within our program are available, but they are limited and not guaranteed. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this here. Over 70% of admitted students from the School of International Affairs receive some form of scholarship. Scholarships are limited and not guaranteed and are completely based on the merit of your application. This is why it's super important to make sure you complete your application early and that you make it really good. Make sure that you submit all of your required documents. The statement of purpose is well written. Make sure your letters of recommendation are really good. Your CV and resume is tight and formatted professionally and looks really good. because we will be assessing a scholarship based on the quality of your application. So this is important. We do not have we don't have need-based scholarship within our program. Scholarships can, and it's not always guaranteed, that's why it's italicized, but they can discount tuition up to approximately 60% of tuition. Again, it's anywhere from 0 to 60% merit-based scholarships, and that's where we're landing currently. International students can use the scholarship towards the financial guarantee. So if you're awarded a scholarship, for example, you can put that against the financial guarantee, but then you'll have to make up the difference by other means. This is really important. We do not have any fully funded scholarships available for any student. Based on a lot of different factors, we're just not afforded the ability to offer full funding to any student within our program. So if you're applying to our program thinking, oh, I'll just get a fully funded offer, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. You may get a merit-based scholarship, but I want to bring this up because every student, no matter who they are going to have to find a way to pay for tuition by other means. And sometimes these other means are from external scholarships, loans, grants, sponsorships from multinational corporations, or private sponsors of sorts, government scholarships, grants, or sponsorships. There are so many different avenues. We do have a database online, which we can share with you at any point to get you started with looking through external scholarships. But please note that no scholarship from SIA will cover full tuition, and that you will need to find another way to pay for the remainder of tuition and meet the financial guarantee for the I-20 extra outside of our scholarship, if you're awarded that. Following up with that, there are no graduate assistant or teaching assistant positions within the School of International Affairs. There are some at Penn State, but they're hard to get, and typically students don't get them until their second semester or even second year. I would say that if you're looking to get a GA or a TA position here within our program, and you're putting all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, that's, again, not a great recipe for success. I would apply, see if you get a scholarship, and once you apply, begin looking for external means of funding immediately, because getting a GA or a TA position is not likely. You will need to be fully matriculated within our program to even be able to begin looking for GA positions. And because of the I-20 and immigration process, which can take quite some time, international students usually aren't matriculated in the right time to begin looking for these GA or TA positions. So I want to be super transparent about that, so that you have an idea of what is available to you and what's possible. I still want to encourage you to apply if you're very serious about us, because we would love to have you, of course, but I also want to be realistic about where we're at. So begin looking for external means of funding as soon as you apply. This is extremely important. What would be really great is if you look for external means of funding and you get some sort of scholarship, grant, fellowship, something like that outside of our program, and then you get a scholarship on top of it from us. That would be like cherry on top of the ice cream, wouldn't it? And it would be really helpful to you. So one thing I can encourage you to do is say to yourself, I'm probably not going to get a scholarship from SIA. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. And then that will encourage you to get scholarships outside of us. And then our scholarship will be the icing on the cake. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. I do apologize. I went on a little longer today. Usually I like to keep these a little shorter. I do see that there are questions within the Q&A box that I'm going to get to here in just a second. Feel free to scan these QR codes so that you can connect with us and find various ways to connect with our community. Go ahead and scan the QR code to apply so that you can read through the application requirements. That will be really helpful. Feel free to reach out to us at admissions@sia.psu.edu with any questions. You can call us as well, text us. Sometimes international students may not be able to text this particular number, but feel free to email us at any time. I'm also happy to set up a Zoom meeting with anybody that is seriously considering our program. And without further ado, let's get to your questions. Someone said that they applied for the Masters of Computer Science stream on August 25th for spring 24. When can I expect my decision? If you apply for Masters of Computer Science, then you've attended the wrong webinar. The Masters of Computer Science will be another program here at Penn State. So I would highly suggest that you reach out to them specifically. Again, for anyone listening, because I see another question coming through here about another program. We only offer a Master of International Affairs degree. We do not offer any other program within our school. Now, Penn State has a lot of the programs that you're asking about. For the multiples of you that are asking me specifically about other programs. So please reach out to them specifically. Yeah, because I won't be able to help you. I'm sorry. Okay. Can I apply with the PTE DuoLingo? No, you cannot. So the DuoLingo exam is not accepted by the Penn State Graduate School. We can only accept official IELTS or TOEFL scores. And on that score, immediately once you take the TOEFL exam, I really would encourage you to send your scores to the Penn State Graduate School using code 2660 so that we can get that in. It'll automatically attach to your application. With the IELTS exam, you can have that sent to the Penn State Graduate School by selecting the school in their drop-down menu. It must come from the testing agency. It can't come from you. Sometimes students will upload their IELTS score report. We can't accept that as the official scores. I do not have IELTS and GRE test scores, and I'm interested in PhD in chemistry. Again, unfortunately, I can't talk about other programs here at Penn State as we only offer the Master of International Affairs. Please reach out to those particular programs specifically. Is there any scholarship? Yeah, there are scholarships available. They are limited and not guaranteed. If you believe that you will need a full ride scholarship to our program, I would suggest that you reconsider applying to a future semester, find external scholarships or something like that. But please look through our website to learn more about the limited merit-based scholarships. Again, they're not guaranteed and they are limited. What can we submit as a writing sample? That's a really great question. I appreciate that question. We don't actually require writing samples within our program. We are a little different, right? Given the professional nature of our program, we don't require you to submit writing samples. If you'd like to submit one, you can, but it's not required within our application. Really, what we would consider the writing sample is your statement of purpose. We will be checking to make sure that the statement of purpose is actually well written. This is because you will be doing a lot of writing in our program. And so the statement of purpose serves multiple purposes. It tells us who you are and why you want to come here specifically, but it also shows us your ability to handle the English language. And this is for every single applicant, regardless of where they're from as well. Great. Thank you for that question. What does the curriculum look like for the MIA program? Great question. Thank you. So there is a core curriculum of 18 credits that every student is required to take within their first year. In the fall semester, this includes international relations theory and diplomacy, global cultures and leadership, and international economics. In the second semester in the spring, students will take econometrics or multi-sector and quantitative analysis. They'll also take a colloquium course on current policy challenges globally, and then they'll also take an international organizations class on actors, institutions, or actors, Yeah, actors, institutions, and global organizations, something like that. I forget the name of it. I do apologize. But that class specifically is focusing on the role of international institutions in setting policy around the world. So anyway, that's the core curriculum that every student is required to take in their first year. Then in the second year, you will then take 21 elective credits. This is when you can take classes across the university in any department to form your concentration. The concentrations they vary. There's 12 of them, or you can completely create your own. There's 21 credits of electives. Then there are 3 credits of capstone. This is either by completing a master's paper or doing an internship. And that's how you complete the capstone project for graduation. And I hope that is helpful. The IELTS needs to be a regular written test. Only academic testing is acceptable. The TOEFL can be only test. I'm having a bit of a hard time understanding what you're asking. You just need to take either the IELTS or the TOEFL test. The TOEFL test, there is an internet-based test which students can take. Feel free to follow up in an email with me to better help with that question. Okay, someone said that I applied for spring 2024 before the application deadline, but one of my recommenders did not complete the approval. Will my application be processed? Please reach out to me individually. Again, I can put please reach out to that email with more personalized questions so that I can help you, because I don't know your particular case specifically. Does the Career Guidance Office assist in finding internships? In large part, yes, to put it fairly simply. Now, every student will be required to find an internship on their own, of course, but students will use the Career Services Office within the School of International Affairs to find internships. A lot of times students will sit down and just give the Career Services Office your interests and the types of things you want to be when you grow up. And they'll look through and look for various organizations that you can look into to apply to. There are some other things as well that the Career Services Office will help you with, is writing your cover letters and your, making your resumes look professional and well written, interview prep, tailoring the cover letters to the job description, and other things as well. So it's a very helpful office. Utilize it as best as you can if you decide to become a student here, because the students who use that office often typically find the most success. I've completed my Bachelor of Science in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Right now I'm working in a power plant. I want to pursue my master's in renewable energy. Unfortunately, I can't help you with that question. So please reach out to our College of Engineering so that they can help you. All righty. That is the end of our questions. If there are no other questions, I'm happy to give you all back a few minutes of your day, of course. I do appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you're interested in applying to our program, you can reach out to me. I did put the email in the chat. I'd be happy to answer your questions regarding the application. You can also call or text us, and we look forward to hearing from you very soon. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.